He was a lone dog, drifting through the streets, barely scraping by from one day to the next. His life was one of struggle, survival, and loneliness, until a single, life-altering moment arrived. In an instant, when a police officer's life hung by a thread, the stray made a decision that would change everything. He risked it all to save a human he barely knew. What came next defied every expectation of what a street dog could do. In the quiet fringes of a busy city, the dim glow of streetlights flickered over forgotten sidewalks and boarded-up stores. Among the scattered trash and the soft hum of distant traffic, a solitary dog wandered each night, his skeletal frame barely concealed beneath his scruffy fur. The occasional passerby ignored him, writing him off as just another stray in the city's shadow. But within those eyes, sharp and observant, burned a determination born of survival. He had fought for every scrap of food, every moment of peace, and every inch of ground he claimed as his own. Elsewhere in the city, Officer James Delgado, a veteran cop with years of experience under his belt, was making his regular rounds. Calm, steady, and resolute, he took pride in keeping the streets safe, especially the very ones where the stray roamed. He'd faced countless crises in his time on the force. Robberies, car crashes, and violent confrontations. Nothing had prepared him, however, for what would come that night, a danger so great it would push him beyond his limits. The chain of events began with a strange 115 call, alerting authorities to suspicious activity near an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. With little information to go on, Officer Delgado made his way to the scene, alert and ready. The night was thick with silence as he approached the isolated lot. In the darkness, an eerie stillness enveloped the area. At the same time, the stray, lurking on the edges of the scene, sensed something amiss. Drawn to the shadows by instinct, he crept closer, his attention sharp. Inside the warehouse, Delgado's every sense was on high alert. As he moved cautiously through the building's abandoned halls, he had no idea that danger was closing in fast. It happened in an instant, a flash of motion, the unmistakable sound of weapons being drawn, and Delgado was surrounded. Outnumbered and trapped, he quickly realized that backup was too far away to be of help. With his back against the wall, he prepared for the worst, knowing that his training and experience could only take him so far. But then, from the darkened edge of the warehouse, the stray dog made his move. Sensing the officer's peril, the animal's instincts kicked into overdrive. In a heartbeat, he charged. With a ferocious bark and a flash of teeth, the stray lunged at the armed assailants, disrupting their focus and scattering them into chaos. The criminals, caught off guard by the unexpected attack, faltered, giving Delgado the brief moment he needed. Using his training, Delgado disarmed one of the attackers and fought back. All while the stray kept the rest of them at bay. The scene unfolded in a frenzy, but ultimately, the combined effort of the officer and the dog turned the tide. By the time backup arrived, the criminals were subdued, and Delgado was standing, thanks in part to the brave stray who had risked everything. What had started as a quiet, solitary night for both the officer and the dog had turned into an unexpected tale of heroism. The stray, once just another shadow on the streets, had become a true hero, proving that even in the most desperate of circumstances, courage and loyalty can come from the most unlikely of places. Officer Delgado, forever changed by the encounter, would never forget the dog that saved his life. Their paths had crossed for a reason, and in the end, they both knew that the bond forged that night was one that could never be broken. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like and share.